Welcome learners to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Now let us discuss the session 3 of the unit 11, and in this session we will try to discuss the diversified components of mixed economy. So as we discussed that mixed economy is simultaneous presence of public sector, private sector and joint sector. Now let us quickly become familiar with what are the key features of mixed economy. So mixed economy definitely has a large public sector base where the strategic industries and essential services remain under the control of the state or under the government control. There is planned development. There is also simultaneous presence of private ownership with social equity. Just because we are having private ownership, it doesn't mean that we completely become profit oriented. There is also growth, equity and social responsibility, whereby private sector operate alongside the policies promoting fair distribution of income and wealth. This is one of the beautiful features of mixed economy. There is also kind of regulation of the market mechanism where prices are also determined by the demand and supply, while the essential commodities remain under the control of the government. It has a dual objective of making sure that profits are generated. There is also social welfare and public interest. The joint sector participation, if we try to understand, it encourages a kind of a collaboration between public and private sectors for balanced industrial growth. India's mixed economy, if we try to have a broad overview, so India's mixed economy combines kind of market efficiency, state intervention, private initiative and social welfare, making it one of the world's largest mixed economic systems. So what are the major instruments of planning in mixed economy? It is industrial licensing as well as land reforms. So in industrial licensing, there is a kind of regulation of industrial investments and production. There is also focus on preventing strong monopolies and concentration of economic power in the hands of few, which can again have very negative consequences. It also encourages balanced regional development. Now when you try to understand about land reforms, so abolition of zamindari system and tenancy reforms, protection of cultivators and reduction in rural inequality, along with promotion of agriculture productivity and social justice. So by and large, industrial licensing and land reforms, they have been major instruments of planning in India. Apart from these two, we also see development of service sector. So service sector, as you all know friends, it includes your hospitality, education, banking, telecom, multiple sectors come under service sector. So nationalization of banking and insurance institutions, and also expansion of more and more of education, health and communication services, growth of private services. And apart from the focus on developing service sector, we also focus tremendously on subsidies and regulatory measures, whereby food, fertilizers and petroleum, they witness lot of subsidies. There are price controls. There are also labor legislation, so that labor also gets its due share in the profits of the industries and factories. There is approval of foreign collaborations, which also ensures that welfare, market stability and protection of vulnerable groups go hand in hand with each other. Now, what are the advantages of mixed economy? Every dimension will have its respective advantages and limitations. So when we try to understand about the advantages of mixed economy, definitely it has supported massive scale of entrepreneurship and economic freedom, especially past 10 years. If you see, you all might have heard about startups, Startup India, Stand Up India, multiple initiatives on women entrepreneurs, on young entrepreneurs. Probably some of you also might be running some of the startups as well. So this is one of the strongest advantages of mixed economy. Then there is efficient resource allocation in terms of combining market efficiency and also the plant development. There is competition and also productivities. Without competition, the best usually does not come out, and competition also facilitates in better productivity. There are also elements of social justice and equality, because India, as you all know, is basically a welfare state. So without social justice and equality, any kind of economic development is half-willed. Similarly, protection from the exploitation, especially governments acts as a protector and make sure that it safeguards the labor and consumers. Apart from the advantages, there are also certain limitations of mixed economy. So what are they? Usually a kind of instability of economic orientation, where there is shifts between socialist and capitalist tendencies, may create a kind of policy uncertainty if the government is not cautious about it. It also constrains growth in some cases. Administrative inefficiencies can also play a major obstacle if the proper planning and implementation is not taking place. So bureaucratic delays can be there, which can affect the decision making and implementation. Corruption is one of the major limitations and hurdles in any part of the world, and mixed economy is no exception to it, right? So corruption and mismanagement in terms of regulatory controls, subsidies may also create opportunities for misuse. So we have to be very cautious in this direction also. So what is the basic rationale for the planning, rationale for planning for development? So planning is definitely a very important tool for national development, and it makes sure that economic development is accelerated. So development planning is a tool of accelerated development process, especially now that India wants to become a developed economy by 2047. You all might be reading about this. Development planning is very important tool in this direction. Then poverty alleviation. India has done really well in poverty alleviation, with almost all 25 crore people coming above the crossing the below poverty line. It is one of the major achievements thanks to development planning, because development planning ensures employment opportunities, it ensures production and distribution of essential goods, and it also makes sure that the basic needs are fulfilled. So in that way, through poverty alleviation, development planning has a very important role. So when you talk about vision of development planning, basically it aims to achieve economic growth with social welfare, just not economic growth coupled with social welfare, ensuring that development benefits all sections of society, and then also making sure that the resources are allocated properly. All kinds of unemployment, disguised unemployment is also taken care, and employment is promoted in all possible ways, basically through infrastructure development, through rural development, through strengthening the small scale industries, and MSMEs are doing a great job in India in that context, reducing inequalities, balanced regional development, and broad social goals like social justice. So if we try to conclude this particular session and also this particular unit, my dear friends, social change is a continuous process, and in Indian context, without development planning, bringing social change is not possible. And India has done a very wonderful thing by choosing mixed economy, which combines both the elements of capitalism and socialism to promote economic growth with social justice and welfare. So in this session we have tried to address various 5-year plans and also become familiar with what is mixed economy. So I hope you will further explore, do further reading on this, and happy learning to all of you. Thank you very much.